Good morning. Happy Monday morning. Mondays are always sometimes fun. Welcome back to Little Troyer Farm. And if you are new here, welcome. We talk about goats and horses and realistic farm life messes. So if that seems to be your thing, please consider subscribing to tag along for all of our crazy adventures. On the list today is probably going to be a big task. So on top of all the regular chores, I need to go to town and pick up some horse dewormer. And I'm going to deworm all of my horses, and in 21 days, I'm going to deworm them again. So the other week, I took one of my mares to a chiropractor, and she said, oh, well, I think the reason why she's got this big gut like this, and she's not pregnant, is because she's infested with worms. So back in January, when we brought some rescue horses home, I dewormed everybody the day we brought them home. But if those horses had never been wormed before in the past, the likelihood of them having a worm overload where they would have needed a second treatment was very, very likely. So what I think happened was I unintentionally infested my horse herd with worms. And now I have to treat everybody because I've been noticing some signs, especially with my one mare who is nursing right now. She's kind of lacking in the covered rib department. She's a little bit on the ribby side, but she has this massive pot belly on her. Like, she looks like she's 11 months pregnant, but she's not. And I've been wondering all along, what's the deal with her? Turns out that there's a very, very good chance that she has a belly full of worms. And like I said, we talk about realistic stuff here, and some people may say, you're a terrible horse owner. You know what? A terrible horse owner is somebody who doesn't even worm in the first place. So before you get all hoity-toity with me, if you plan to, I am learning. I am making mistakes. I have made mistakes. But the moment that I find something out where I'm like, oh, I didn't do that right, I will go and I will fix it. Whereas the place where we got these horses from, or three of the mares from, just about guaranteed they were never wormed in their life. And if they were, I'd be very surprised, considering their hooves had never been trimmed. So, yes. So now we get to deworm pretty harshly now and then in 21 days. That was slightly terrifying. Came to the feed store to pick up more mare milk replacer, and it was their last bucket. So I bought the last one, and now they're sold out. And they won't get in new stuff till Wednesday, which today's Monday, so that's fine. Like, she's not going to go through 10 kilograms of powder in 2 days. But once she gets up to the level of what she's consuming, she will be going through a bucket every 5 days. And it's just, it's no different than, honestly, like when I had to put my third child on baby formula. And it was terrifying going to the grocery stores and discovering that there was no formula, or there was not the right kind of formula. And it's that similar kind of like panicky feeling, obviously different because it's not like she's my human baby, but for circumstances that were out of my control, I had to switch my third to formula, which is not ideal, not what I would have loved to do, but it's challenging to be like going through the same thing again. That's similar, not the same, but similar feelings when you're raising a foal. And it sure makes me want to have a plan A, B, and C, and D if I need it. Thankfully, they can get it shipped in quickly. And I know that I could like drive an hour to the next town and go see if feed stores over there sell it too. But yeah, it's just, I'm really, really thankful that we did get the last bucket, because that would have been really bad coming in and being like, oh, they don't have any. Now what? So yeah, that's fun. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I feel like I've done a lot of this today. So I've noticed the last few weeks that my one buckling, he has been losing weight. And I know that I probably should have treated him earlier. I just thought that maybe he was just growing faster than the other one. But I think now that there's a very, very good chance that he's just got worms. It's just, it's challenging with goats because if you treat them for worms and they don't have worms, they can easily get resistant to the deworming medication that you give them. But he's looking a little sad and scrawny. And today I looked at him and I was like, oh, he's getting really bad. So shame on me for maybe not like acting sooner, but I do have dewormer on the way. I begged my dad to go stop by the feed store and grab some dewormer for me so that I can do that tonight. And then I don't have to worry about trying to get to the feed store before they close, because that's always a nightmare. Danny boy, you're a little on the skinny side. Like he's not like lethargic or anything. Oh my goodness. But I'll show you. So I hate even showing this. But especially just because, I mean, some people are just Evel Knievel and are out to chew you out for absolutely anything. So this is Grant. He is a yearling, like a 1.5 year old Nubian buck. And he's done really well. He's gained weight. He's filled out even more, even since I've got him. Doing really well, looking sharp, looking snazzy, looking healthy. Nice glossy coat. He's rubbed himself just because of how the feeder is. They stick their heads in there and then, yeah, rub themselves. Titan here, he was born a little bit after this guy, and he's looking pretty good. A little bit on the lean side, but not too bad, not too terrible. Like you run your hand along here, and you can't like feel a whole bunch of bones. Like you can feel them, but he's not like totally scrawny. He's also growing, so they typically, they kind of are just more lean. And then we've got Mr. Proper over there. He is now 7 months old, and he's nice and filled out. He's looking good, ready to go for breeding season. And then Mr. Denny over here, he's a super long and lanky buck, has been that way from the beginning, but he is thin. And like when I say thin, I mean like these bones in here, like, I just don't even want to touch him because he's got fur on bones, and you can see his hip bone sticking out there, and he's just way too skinny. I had been giving them grain, I had been giving them extra hay, because I was like, okay, dude, you're obviously not eating enough, and you're still spunky and ouch, gonna eat my fingers. Spunky as ever, whatever, but he is thin, guys, and that makes me feel like crap. But I should have acted maybe a bit sooner. But we will get him wormed tonight, along with all of your horse pals, because we've got a worm problem. I don't know if it's because we have moist lands here or what the deal is, but we are going to get everybody fixed up because this is ridiculous, and I'm tired of it. It's been a week. It's been a day. Ouch. I just don't know. But Denny, we're going to get you fixed right up. And then we're going to give you all the loving, and we're going to give you all the extra food, and we're going to get all them yucky buggies out of your system. Okay? Yeah, that's the plan. Sound good? We're going to give you all the extra food, and it's actually going to stick to your ribs this time instead of feeding all the nasty bugs that are in your system. Isn't that right? So that is a part of... He's going to follow me. That is a part of owning animals, is just... Sometimes everything hits the fan all at once, and this is also kind of like a really good reminder to me to not juggle too much, that I I have to be vigilant. I have to be aware of what's going on with each and every animal of mine. I have to be aware of their supplements and their minerals and their feed, and it's not like I'm letting them sit there and starve. I feed them a lot, and probably more than they need. Everybody else looks good. Like, there's nobody else other than Denny, as far as the goats go, that's scrawny. So, like, maybe some of the other ones do have worms, but it's just not hitting them as hard. I just don't know. The way that you really know how to treat your herd specifically is to run fecal tests. So basically you get some fecal samples from the general population of your goat herd. You take your little baggie to the vet and you say, hey, can you please run a fecal float for me? For us, it costs around $40. And then they'll look at it and they'll be like, okay, here's what we're seeing. This is the type of wormer that you need to use to kill those specific worms and parasites. So I'm just going to act quickly and just worm him, because I'd rather do that now versus waiting even a few days before I have the chance to take a fecal float to the vet clinic. And then hopefully that'll just give him an initial die off, if you want to call it that. And hopefully we can get him feeling excellent soon. Like, he looks like he's doing okay. He's way too thin for like a normal healthy goat. So that tells me I need to take action, need to deal with some stuff, and it's okay. It's okay. It's part of owning animals. Like I said, I think that we just have a worm problem, because I also think that I should deworm the dogs. I just think that everybody needs dewormer now. I think I needed to get dewormed. I think my kids need to get dewormed. The goats need to get dewormed. The horses need to get dewormed. And our cat needs to get dewormed. Just worm them all. Worms happen. It's part of farm life. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's the way it is, guys. My hesitancy in worming, especially my milking does, I have 2 right now, is that there is always a milk withdrawal period. Some dewormers, or there's one dewormer that's only like a 10-day milk withdrawal, but that means that I have to milk for 10 days and dump the milk for 10 days. So typically when you want to worm your goats is like right at kidding time, and then for the next 10 days or whatever the milk withdrawal period is, you feed that milk back to the baby goats via bottle feeding. That's the best way to go, but I know none of these guys have been. So I'm jotting down notes and going, okay, how do I want to do my like pre-kidding health routines? What do I want to do the day that they kid? All of that sort of stuff. From my short experience owning goats, I am already starting to gather intel and information and education and trying to formulate the best plan for the overall health of my animals. So there you go. Super fun. But we're gonna deworm everything. Well, Mr. Denny is only 46 pounds. He just got his wormer. I didn't video it because sometimes just, you know, gotta do life. It's simple as like squirting a little bit of dewormer paste into their mouth. It was very, very confusing because I had to use Safeguard, which is for horses, so you have to use it off-label for goats, and the conversion for like how many milligrams they get for how many pounds was very, very complicated to figure out what his dose was. So I'm going to try to order in some different goat dewormer. Probably try to send off a fecal sample from him. I hope that there's nothing underlying going on with him, because that would really not be good. But he's just grossly skinny. And it makes me feel yucky when they're that skinny. He's not even like going crazy over the grain either. So I'm going to let the dewormer sit for tonight. And then tomorrow I'm going to give him some probiotics and maybe give him a few days of probiotic. Like, see, he walked away from the grain. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, buddy, but we'll figure it out. We will. Yeah. I don't even want to share this, but like, if somebody else goes through it and it can be helpful for them, then I want to be real and honest about how you treat something like this, where you start. I mean, the first place that you start is obviously with Wormer, and I mean, the other boys look fine. They're in the same pen, getting the same treatment, but he's looking bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually empty out their feeder. Whoa. I'm going to empty out their feeder and then just put straight fresh stuff in there and make sure that they've got some more mineral, because it could be some sort of a mineral deficiency as well. Yeah, you're just not overly interested. And it's sweet feed too. Like, that's the good stuff. So we'll see what's bothering this guy. But we'll give tonight for the dewormer to do its thing. Tomorrow I'll give him some probiotic paste and just do a few adjusting type of things, and hopefully we start to see some improvement. Quarantining in this situation, I don't think is really going to help anything, because he has been around the other boys all this time. So if he is contagious, the other boys are just going to get sick. That's just the way it is. But they all look in good shape. Everything looks normal. Weight gain looks good. He's the only one that looks in rough shape. So I will... Yeah, my brain is going. My brain is going with lots of stuff. I can also potentially send out some blood testing. However, you typically don't test for CAE and Ionis until they're a year old. And so I'm not sure if the lab would even let me do it. I may have to get a vet involved, but I think probably for the next few weeks for sure, I will just focus on just letting that dewormer do its thing, probably for 3 weeks, I think, and then you do another dose and run fecals, see if there's something that I'm missing. I could send out like diagnostic type of blood work. I could put him on his own with a better quality feed as well, just to help him not have to like compete for any of his feed. I'm gonna give these guys some. Oh, a treat. Hold on. Gotta fix the fence. Okay. Yeah, so everybody else is looking good. Babies are looking good. Now we're gonna get on to deworming all of the horses. So, yay for worm treatments. You guys get the nature view because I forgot my tripod. So, I picked up some ivermectin liquid for horses. It's an oral solution. This is what it comes with. It comes with your lure lock syringe, and then it's got a bottle. That's all the liquid, and then a special top where the, I'll show you in a bit, but the syringe screws onto the top. You can draw out the right dose. I was just reading again. I figured out their body weights with a, like it's a measuring formula, and I can put it here so that if you are trying to do the same thing, obviously I'm not going to be able to pick up a horse and step on a weigh scale to figure out how much they weigh. A lot of people just do a rough guess by looking at them. I feel like that can lead you astray unless you're really, really good at it and you've seen a lot of horses and you know how much they weigh. I'd rather be a little bit closer on instead of just using guesswork. This says, let's see here, where was it? The recommended dose is 200 UG of ivermectin per kilogram of body weight. So each milliliter contains sufficient ivermectin to treat 50 kilograms of body weight. 10 milliliters will treat a 500 kilogram horse, is what this does. So 10 milliliters for a 500 kilogram horse. And I need to look, Raven is a little bit smaller. She weighs at about just under 1,080 pounds. And then Grace here is the big red mare. She weighs closer to, I think it was 1,350, but I got to double check my notes and then figure out my exact dosage
And then we'll put a halter on these guys, dose them with some ivermectin, and we'll move on to the other ones across the road. Okay, so I figured it out. Raven's gonna get like just a hair under 10 milliliters, so I'm just gonna give her, because she would convert to a 490 kilograms, which they say 10 milliliters for a 500 kilogram horse, and then 1 milliliter per 50 kilogram horse. So it's not even like a, like I could go, yeah, I think I'll just go like a hair under, a line under 10 milliliters for Raven. Lovely. So take that off. Screw this fancy lid on. Shake it up really good. Make sure it's all mixed. So then this little part, see if I can get it, unscrews. And then this syringe screws onto the top like that. And then you just draw your dose. So she needs just a hair under 10. You can see it. And then flip it back over, unscrew the top. This little lid screws back on. Make sure that's all on nice and tight so it doesn't leak. And we'll go give Raven her dose. I'm sorry, it's not going to be ideal. Hopefully she just chills out with me. Hey girl. Yeah. I've got the halter on just in case I need to, you know, detain her kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come down the side of her face like this. When I'm touching, I'm going to just gently touch the side of her mouth. And then I'm going to turn it around, push it in, and then squirt it kind of along the side of her tongue versus like directly back in her throat. So hopefully I can get this figured out. Like that. Yeah, I know, kind of yucky, hey? I'll grab her some feed so she can have some supper right away. Oh, thanks, Grace. You're next. Good girl. It's gonna make you feel so good. That's typically why you give them a bit of extra anyways, because you will lose some, because they'll just kind of spit some of it out, which is why I try to get it kind of on the side of their teeth versus like on their tongue, because then they'll spit out more of it if it's in their tongue. Oh, hi, Grace. We're just all lovey-dovey. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. So we're going to let her go. I'm going to draw up another dose. And we're going to do Grace. Alright. We'll go grab my bottle. I'm in a fantastic place for this. No, these are not green horses that are likely going to trample me. Obviously, there's the possibility that I could get hurt, but I'm good. So Grace's turn, same idea. She's going to get a bit over 12, so that is the full syringe. Oh, it goes only to 12, so there you go. Hey, you guys stay here, Grace. Same idea. Come here, honey. I don't know how she is with worming, but we're going to try it. Hopefully you can see. There we go. Okay, Raven, now you're right in the way, honey. Yeah. Okay, so angle down their face. Tuck it in the side of their mouth if you can. And then up along the side of their mouth if you can. Sorry, the fence got jumbled up. She says, oh, that's good. If you had another friend with you helping you, you would just hold their head up like this to like hopefully help them actually get it down to where it needs to be. She's not impressed. I'm sorry, Grace. I'm sorry. You're okay. You're okay. Okay, I'm gonna grab them some hay, and then they can get all that nasty taste out of their mouth. The paste is a lot more pleasant for that, where it actually, like, it's so, like, it's pasty, so it just, like, sticks in their mouth, and they have a harder time spitting it out. You got some good dose right there, though. All right, 2 horses down, and now we've got another 4 and a full to go. Grace, is that so bad? So bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, some good hay. Yum. There, now they can get rid of that yucky taste in their mouth. Hey, Grace. Yeah. And Raven. That way we can make sure you don't got any worms. Like, they look good. Raven did get a little bit on the thinnish side this winter, but she seemed to gain back pretty decently. Her top line's not even that bad for being, I think she's 22 this year. I think she looks pretty decent, but we'll make sure she gets what she needs. The sunset's nice and like warm and glowing light. There's a lot of days where I wish that we had more space, more privacy, as the vehicle is just about to rip past on the highway. But be thankful for what you have, because I know that even a year ago I would have rolled over and died if you had told me that I would have a whole bunch of horses to love on and enjoy. Come on, you guys! This people's house is right there, so I don't really want to do it right in front of their house, but sometimes they don't want to come all this way. You guys are so silly, I had to walk all the way to you. Come on. Come this way. Look, it's Jezzy. Hey, girl. I was really going to try to video this for you, or at least like hyperlapse it so you could see everything in flying speed, because this is going to take me a while because I've got to measure everybody and then I have to administer the doses. And everybody's trying to eat my camera on my tripod, and so that's not going to work, and I don't exactly want it getting stepped on and crushed. Oh, ladybug or jitterbug. If you want to know what having a foal is like, this is what it's like. They want to just grab everything and chew on everything, and it's very frustrating. Okay, so I will show you the diagram later, but it's right behind their wither, down to like right behind their armpit. So she just took a big inhale, exhale. She's sitting, I've measured her 3 times and she's right at 69. So 69 inches for her heart girth. And then I measured from the point of her shoulder, and I did an angle all the way up to right about here, and that was 60 inches. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 69, times it by 69 equals, and then times whatever that result is by 60 inches. Divided by 330 is the formula, and that'll spit out her pounds. Just did all the math. 7.85 milliliters is what Dottie needs, because somehow she is measuring out to be under 1,000 pounds, which actually kind of makes sense because she's a pretty fine-boned little horse. Meanwhile, there's this 4-month-old tank. The chiropractor actually thinks that, the chiropractor thinks that Dottie is part Welsh pony. She measured out on the stick 14.2 hands. So I was right. She's small. Are we giving kisses? We just want to be in my space. So I'm going to give her her meds. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. I really, really doubt it, but so I'm going to come down the side of her face. Oh, jitterbug. Come down the side of her face, and then I'm going to tuck the syringe in the side of her mouth, and hopefully she doesn't spit it all out. Nope. Keep it in there. She's got grass in her mouth too, which they say keep your horse's mouth empty of debris. Of course, she's spitting it all out. That was on my part. Might just like give her a couple more milliliters just to be on the certain side, because she's the one that the chiropractor was like, ooh, yeah, she kind of looks pregnant, but I think she's got a belly full of worms. And she's like not thin, but like, yeah, especially not right now, but she's kind of lacking some top line here. She's got a raised lumbar, which she said the lumbar is very fluid, and so anything that's going on down here can push that up and put that out of sorts. So I might just give her one or two more milliliters. It's not gonna hurt. Oops. Any guesses what just happened here? Yep, you guessed it. Jitterbug grabbed it in her mouth. It was holding it in her mouth. I was just measuring her. She stood like a champ. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Oh my goodness. Love her. I absolutely love her. Only 4 months old. She's just amazing. She's like, what on earth did you just give me? That's nasty. I just put my hand over her neck like this. Snuck it in the side of her mouth. And she got it. You good girl. And we don't hate me. Yay. No wormies for you. Now we gotta do your mama, because your mama's in bad shape. She's got a belly full of worms, that's for sure. Should we go get your mama? Go get your mama, you pretty thing. Goodness. It's gonna be exciting to watch her mature. Look, just so precious. Oh my goodness. So pretty. See, we still love me. Even after giving you Yucky Dewormer, you still love me. You're such a goose. Yes. Wow. You miracle baby. Miracle baby. Good girl. Alright, gotta collect all my stuff now. Girly, you're huge. You're so big. My goodness. Hey, I know. Now you're not liking me. You have to get it down. Yeah. You're a big girl. I mean, like, look at her. If Jitterbug would get out of the way. She looks preggers. Like, majorly. But she's still, I mean, still just slightly ribby. She's starting to come back pretty good with this green grass. Hey, Jezzy. Your turn. But she's just got a big old belly, which people that I talked to, they said, yep, the first thing you do, treat them for worms. And like you can see there that you can just see a bit of ribs. Like when you run your hand across her, it's not like she's like da-dunk, da-dunk, da-dunk between ribs. But I would like to get her set up for winter a little bit better. And yeah, that belly. Girl, that belly. We'll take care of that. I hope you guys are seeing what I mean when I say that the black and white paint mare was in bad shape. She's not actually in bad shape. She looks really good, other than I would really like to see that belly not be so huge. And I would like to see more cover on her ribs, especially going into winter. In no way is she emaciated or in horrible shape or in terrible health or anything like that. However, I talked to some very experienced horse owners and kind of told them about her, showed them some pictures, and they're like, yep, I would definitely recommend doing a worming protocol with her, give her some liquid ivermectin. And these are people who've owned horses for longer than I've been alive. So I don't just randomly make decisions on my own and go, oh, I think maybe I should deworm all my horses. It's not decisions that I make on a whim. I do talk to other people that I respect their opinion on things with horses, and so that's why I went ahead and was like, you know what? They're all in the same pasture, grazing together, which is very likely then that they all end up with worms, which is why I'm going ahead and just doing a 21-day protocol for all of them. It's not going to hurt anything. I've also talked to another horse breeder that she does quite an intensive program, which I didn't realize just how intensely you could treat them if you needed to.
But first of all, I'm going to treat her once, and then in 21 days, I'm going to worm everybody again, and just wait and see and watch and see how they all respond, how they look. And then it's also going to be time to wean Jitterbug here pretty quick as well. And then even that's going to help with Breeze's overall body condition and body score, as she'll be able to put out less energy into raising a foal and be able to pour that back into her healthy body condition here pretty quick. So I just wanted to share that. Like, it's not that I know absolutely everything. There's so much room for improvement. There's so many things that I'm learning as I go. And who knows, in 5 years, I may look back at this and cringe and be like, oh my goodness, I knew absolutely nothing. There is so much room for me to learn and to grow in just my horsemanship and how I raise my horses and how I treat them. But I hope that I am doing them a good service by going ahead and being proactive and worming them right now, especially considering two of these mares. Jezzy is the one that I'm handling right now, and Dottie's on the right, where they did come from a situation where it was very unlikely that they had ever been dosed with wormer in the past. So I just want to go ahead and just try and get on top of worms and not have it be a plague for my animals. And then hopefully once we get it all under control, we can go to just a normal twice a year deworming protocol. I was like 67 and a half on that side. Good girl. I wanted to take it slow with her just because I wasn't sure how she'd respond, but she did very well. She's definitely still unsure about stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to take my time. Didn't want to rush it, but she did pretty good. 60, what did I say? 67.8? 67.5? I'll look. I have the best setup for this for recording, but oh well. It's on the list of things to invest in later. So Jezzy, no, Jitterbug, go. She's gonna try to knock over my camera. No, honey girl. Such a pest. So sweet, but such a pest. No, don't even think about it. Go somewhere else. Bother somebody else. No. No. Stop it. Being a turd. Look at this sweet gem just sitting out here. Yeah, see? Same idea. Huh? I'm just going to put this along the side of her mouth, angle it in, and shoot it on the side of her cheek there. Yeah, you're going to be sweet about it? Oh, nope. Oh, no. So she pursed her lips and like spilled a bunch of it. So again, I know probably what you should not do, but I'm gonna go ahead and give her another mill because I really want to make sure that they all get enough. No, Dottie, don't. Don't. Stop it, you guys. Don't. A good experience for you, but if you're gonna spit it out, she just lets it dribble down the side of her mouth. You're crazy. It's disgusting. It's okay. I think you got it. Alright, I'm gonna lead her around for a bit just to like not end on that note of shoving something into her mouth. Just gonna touch her face a little bit, do some work, and then I'm gonna go do the last one, which is Duke. My hands. Maybe I get dewormed through like absorption. I don't know. Or it kills me. I feel like a lot of farmers would be dead if we
weren't allowed to handle ivermectin. My neighbors probably think that I'm the most ridiculous person in the world, walking around with a stick in my hand, talking to nobody. I promise I'm talking to somebody. You're such a sweet girl, Jessie. This bottle's feeling pretty empty. $100. And this has got 120 milliliters in it. So for a horse Grace's size, you could do 10 of them. Easy. Most of them are getting like about 10 milliliters. So then you'd have enough doses for like 12 horses. All done. Just like that. No big wrecks, thankfully. Everybody behaved themselves to get measured. Duke was a champ. I go through like phases where I love him and then I kind of don't like him. Sometimes our personalities just don't click. But today he was an absolute gentleman. Nobody really gave me any problems trying to catch them. Even Jessie and Duke, which actually, believe it or not, they used to be really, really hard to catch. So it's been kind of, it's not been kind of fun. It's been really, really, really fun to be able to watch the changes and just how much these guys have grown and like just so amazing to watch them. It's been really cool. Thanks so much for joining me on today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, maybe learned something, and if you want to see more, please hit subscribe so that you can stay updated on all the happenings around this little farm. See you next time.